How about now?
Till now we are not able.
Still is loading.
Okay, okay. Okay, how about now, Bijendra? Can I go ahead? Nevertheless, I'll be sharing the recording as well, so that you can have a look at that even after the webcast as well.
Still showing the loading page only.
Okay.
The information of the phone was fall on this because of network connectivity issue. Vijendra, I believe majority of people will be able to see. I will suggest to start with, anyway we are recording this session, so we share across that recording, whereas the participants who are willing to see the recording, they can able to see later.
Exactly. I believe that that's a good idea.
Yeah. Go ahead, Abram.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome to the webcast. My name is Abraham Danyaraj. I'm a Visual Studio technical consultant and as a solution expert. Basically, I work as a Team Foundation Server administrator, managing the complete application lifecycle management with Team Foundation Server. Majorly today's webcast will be targeting Microsoft Test Manager 2013. Microsoft Test Manager is a very important tool stack component in your Visual Studio application lifecycle management. If you
And another thing, for the 10:30 call,
can you please mute your phone, audience? Can you please mute your phone?
Student can type for the 10:30 meeting. Should I mean, I want to skip that. Okay, I'll send out an email that I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. All the attendees, would you please mute your microphone so that there will be no distractions to your colleagues. Okay. Let's start, and probably after 1 hour or so, you can ping all your questions back in the window, in the window where you can chat. This way that you can ping all your questions, so that I'll be able to answer your questions at the end of this webcast. I'm just moving to my next slide, where the agenda for the day is going to be targeting the manual testing, which is nothing but your formal test case management, where I'll be demonstrating how a record and playback works, and how this tool is different from the tools, and what is the major advantages of the tool, and something like rich bug is a very important feature, the data diagnostic adapter, and the ad hoc testing. There's a different set of features of this Microsoft testing management tool. Majorly today I'll be showing the feature wise what all the features, and taking the real-time examples, what all the challenges that a manual.
We can't hear anybody.
Am I audible? Okay.
Abraham?
Yes. Hello. Hope I'm audible.
Abraham, can you speak now?
Yes, I am speaking over here. Hello. Uh, uh, Guys, am I audible? Well, how about now?
Yes, now we are able to hear you.
Okay. I don't know how it has gone to mute mode, but nevertheless, apologies. Okay. Uh, well, if you face any issues with respect to network, or if I'm really very fast, if you're not able to hear my voice, you can ping me over there. Probably I can check and we can continue backward. Okay. Majorly this is going to be the agenda for this today's webcast. I'm just moving to my next slide. uh, if I talk about this comprehensive application lifecycle management solution over there in the screen, Team Foundation Server is a core component. It is a unified process to leverage your application lifecycle management. Comparatively to the other version controls, Team Foundation Server has a world-class version control mechanism. Along with that, we have a tools where you can plan your project. These are tools where you can manage your collaboration within your team members, something called your work item tracking. This set of bunch of tools, there's a testing stack tool, something like, like your manual testing, your automated testing, and your performance testings. And it has got a lab management where you can create your virtual machines, to deploy, to make sure that your app works in the respective environments. And also you can leverage the automated build, the continuous integration, and much more than that. The release process makes it very easy with this Team Foundation Server tool. And above all, we have got uh, reporting and analytics, based on the status of your complete project management, status of your complete end-to-end project. You can get SSRS report out of the box with your Team Foundation Server. So Team Foundation Server is basically a two-tier architecture where you get a huge bunch of features. Basically these are all your web services which are running internally. It provides all the tools that you are looking out in your project. If you are a business analyst, these are tools for you. If you are a build and release manager, if you are a tester, if you are into operations team, or if you are a developer, there's a huge bunch of tools that are involved. Well, today majorly we will be focusing upon the testing capabilities of Team Foundation Server. We'll be seeing mostly the testing capabilities, manual testing capabilities, and this is one of the core functionalities of your Team Foundation Server. These are all the components, the client components that you can connect to your Team Foundation Server to leverage all these functionalities. Say like as a tester, you want to create your test cases and to verify the status of your test case progress, and to see the status of your complete test case management. You can use either of the tools, like the oval shape, the blue, the tools that we have demonstrated here. You can use either your web access or any client tool, or if you are into heterogeneous application development, probably you're using Eclipse IDE or any third-party IDE. You can also integrate your respective IDE with the help of this plugin called Team Explorer Everywhere to your Team Foundation Server for your test case management. So it does not only restricts to your it doesn't restrict only to the Microsoft platform, but also you can leverage a heterogeneous testing as well onto different platforms as well. There's a beauty of Team Foundation Server. Okay, not only that, it doesn't not only restricts you to have an on-premises testing, but also you can leverage the cloud-based testing, where all the testing infra is available, is available in the cloud. All you need to do is you need to have a client to connect to your Team Foundation Server, which is available on the cloud, to leverage all the testing capabilities. And I'm just moving to my slide over here. Oh, I just want to talk a couple of minutes with respect to why Microsoft has introduced this tool called Microsoft Test Manager, especially for the manual testers. If you see this software phase, we have a huge an awesome tools within your Visual Studio to see how quality your code has been written by your developers, how effective your code is. Probably developers can spend a few more minutes to see the functionality of your method by writing certain unit test cases. If at all the developer is not able to find any bug or defect on a respective app, probably the app moves to your testing environment, where a Team Foundation Server Visual Studio has come up a huge testing tools, right? We have a manual testing tools, automation, performance, scalability, and there's much more tools involved. If at all the testing tools are not able to, generally speaking, if at all the testers are not able to find any bug in the app, and finally it goes to your customer, into the stakeholder's hand. Say for example, if a bug has been fixed, a bug has been figured out by your stakeholder, it's really very tough to fix a bug. What I mean to say is, like, the cost of fixing a bug in the development environment is very less than at the release phase, than at the stakeholder's hand. We all agree this universal truth, because probably fixing a bug at the development environment is going to be probably a few minutes, but in the stakeholder it is going to be really very tough. And if you see this tester segmentation, at the far left hand of the spectrum we have a manual testing, at the far right hand of the spectrum we have got automation testing and your performance testing capabilities. From the past past 5 to 10 years, how many automation testing tools have been introduced into the market? How many performance testing tools have been introduced into the market? There are plenty, right? But how many manual testing tools have been introduced into the market? There are hardly, you cannot figure out, right? And you believe me or not, most of the testing happens at the manual testing phase. I don't require to be a manual tester to see how responsive my UI is, right? Probably humans are more smarter than computers. I don't require a tool to see how responsive my UI is or how colorful my UI is, right? You believe me or not, most of the testing happens at the manual testing, right? But there are no tools that has been targeted at the manual testing. Most of the tools would be targeting at at the automation and the at the performance testing level. Just 1 second. Okay, sure, thank you. Okay. If you see the screen, but Microsoft wanted to target manual testers in the year 2010 by introducing a tool called Microsoft Test Manager, right? There are many advantages of this tool. One sec. Okay. There are many advantages of this tool. One of the advantages that I could tell you over here is, like, say I'll just give you a couple of real-time scenarios where this Microsoft Test Manager is going to be very well and effectively being used. Say for example, a tester raises a bug and files it to the respective development team, right? And whereas development team doesn't have much information with respect to the bug, so the development team would ask for the tester for more information regarding the bug. Probably what is the operating system that you have been using, probably which browser you're using, and what is the RAM that you're using, or probably are you sure that you clicked on so and so button. There are many challenges, there are many questions that a development team would literally ask. So in order to overcome all this, all the ping pong between your development team and the testing team, what does this Microsoft Test Manager tool does is it provides you not only the bug, but it provides you the rich bug information of the tool, right? It provides you the rich bug, right? Probably the complete testing snapshot of your tester would be passed on to your development team, so that development team do not require to ask excuse me okay, developer team do not require to keep on asking the testing team on to their application related for the more bug information. And also there are many scenarios where this testing Microsoft Test Manager is very helpful. The scenarios where like you cannot reproduce the bug, right? There are probably I'm just seeing the I'm just going through my site, and there were certain pages that I've navigated through, but all of the sudden there's certain page I accessed and there was a bug. I don't know how I had how I had been over there. Like probably I clicked on to page 1, navigated to page 4, again back to page 3, somewhere it got, so I cannot reproduce the bug. But this has got an amazing tools that will help you to reproduce a bug. Alright, and there are scenarios where you want to there are scenarios where you cannot write the test steps. There's a huge app and there are like many functionalities. You cannot sit and write all the test steps. It's very painful for the manual testers. This has got a tool where it automatically generates the test steps for the testers. So strictly speaking, you do not require to write the test cases as well. There are many more things. Probably you have executed certain test cases after a few months or few weeks. You want to rerun those test cases. Probably there are like 100 test steps you want to rerun. Probably as a manual tester you don't want to sit and run all the test steps. There is something called automatic recording. It internally records your test case so that you can play back whenever you want. As we move ahead with the demo, we'll be looking into the we'll be looking into this particular how Microsoft Test Manager will helps here. This is the terminology of your Microsoft Test Manager. This is your Microsoft Test Manager, MTM, and MTLM stands for Microsoft Test Lab Management Client. This is in fact two wizards, where Microsoft Test Manager is where testers would interact to create certain test cases and all. There's a lab management where it allows you to create snapshots, the virtual machine environment where you can deploy to that app as well. Okay, so this is your test case management. On the top level, we have got something called your plan. This is something called your test plan. Under the test plan, you can have multiple test suites, right? You can have multiple test suites. The test suites are there are different types of test suites, like your requirement. Probably, since I told you, right, TFS has got a tools for your requirement management as well. With this tool you can import all those requirements and test against those requirements. So you can create your test suites based on the requirement, or you can have a static. It's up to you, right? It's kind of a folder based structure. So under a suite you can have multiple test cases, one or many multiple test cases. This is a hierarchy. We have plan, we have suite, and multiple test cases, right? This is nothing but your probably I can import my user story which is created at a requirement stage. I can create a test cases against that requirement. I can test it. It has got, since it has got end-to-end traceability, you can move back forth between your requirements to the test case to see whether it's been properly tested throughout, right? And this is your anatomy of test case. I just want to show you the test case wizard, how it actually looks. This is the audit trail where you can actually see the title of your test case and to which sprint it belongs to. You can have to which release it belongs to. You can say whether it has been assigned to respective team member or the team or the tester, what's the state, and what is the priority, what is the severity of this particular test case. What is the priority? Basically the bug audit trail looks probably the same, probably one or two fields you would be adding. And the advantage of this tool is like excuse me, okay, uh, okay, well, if at the bottom you can see the test steps where you can you can actually see this thing. These are all the multiple test steps that are available, right? You can get, and if you want to parameterize any of the test steps, this way that you can parameterize those test steps. Thanks. Okay, this is the parameter. Say there is a scenario where you want to test this particular app hosted on so and so production box or so and so the testing environment, where you want to test this app with multiple input data, say probably say 20 first names and different input parameters. Generally what happens in the manual testing is like we need to keep on updating the values, right? But with this tool it automatically picks the value from your respective database, which is nothing but your Excel CSV file, and it automates this app, so you don't require to have manually sit to input the values. This has got pretty advanced functionalities. This is your basically test case fields, right? You can even customize these fields. You can add your own set of fields, probably a drop down or different calendar or different controls that you want to have. It's very easy to customize. This is where that you can have linked items. Probably you can go and attach a certain work items, or you want to link to certain backlogs, tasks, or defects, things like that. And this is where the test steps, the test steps of a test case, and this is going to be the parameterized data where you can parameterize the data, right, of the particular test case. Okay, well, I'm just moving my slide. Okay, before that I just wanted to go to demo, and I'll just create a simple test case. I'll explain, I'll take a very simple test case, explain very simple creation of your test case, and later then we'll see how the bug and what will the advantage of this test case, right? I'm just closing my window. Right, I'm just switching to my I'm sorry, probably let me log in through. Okay, well, if you can see my screen, right, this is a virtual machine, a pre-configured virtual machine with all the input data, where I've got here like all my Team Foundation server and the Microsoft Test Manager, everything has been saved. I can open my window over here, right? This is my Microsoft Test Manager. Probably I can rerun and I can show it to you. This is your Microsoft Test Manager tool. Out of the box it connects to my TFS, right, because I have passed all the credentials earlier. So if not, all you need to do is like you need to come to your respective server and the name of the project that you have. You can connect to the project, say what is the project that I have. You can click on to say connect now and say connect all, right? So this is my project name. Now I have connected to a project called demo stuff. The creation of project is very simple. You require Visual Studio for that, or you can require any client ID to create the project. I'll show in a while how to create a project. It's a simple step, right? After creation of this project, Microsoft Test Manager, I clicked on something called add, which is nothing but a test plan. I told you a hierarchy, right? We have got a test plan and the test suite and the number of test cases inside that. I would say it's going to be demo plan, and click on to say add, and this is my plan name, right? The user who has created and the date, and I've selected this plan. So this is an empty here. This is my wizard. At the top you can see two tabs, plan and the test. Plan is a tab where I plan all my test case, and test is a tab where I go and execute all those test cases, right? Okay, so what exactly I'm trying to do over is like, whenever I create a plan, okay, whenever I create a plan, it automatically creates a suit with the same name. Is going to be the suit. Probably if I want to add any requirements, I can just simply create a requirement. It will allow me to fetch the requirements from your team foundation server. Right? I can say, so that I can go and test against those requirements. Out of the box, there are no requirements over here, but if you have any, you can import those requirements and test against those requirements. Let me create a suit here under the same suit. Say I can say test access is my suit name, and I can create a similar kind of file structure. And out of the box, there are no test cases. If you have already test cases written by your testers, you can import from your respective Excel sheet directly to TFS. You can do that way, or you can directly go ahead and create a new test case here. Just for the sake of demo, let me create a sample test case to see how it actually I can go and execute. I created something on new, and right, and this is my test case window where you've got title. I would say test my app is my test case name. I can assign to respective tester. Since I've logged in as the same user, I would assign to myself, and I can just come to select the respective which area or which iteration or sprint it belongs to. Okay, and I can come and sit over here, and this is a place where I can go and write my test steps. What exactly I'm trying to do is like, let me write a couple of test steps. So I've written very simple, 3 test steps. You can go and it supports rich text. You can go and modify your text based on your requirements. This got your expected result of this particular test steps. All I do is like I go and click on to say save and close. Right. So the moment you try to save any test case, what exactly happens is like this particular test case would be saved into your team foundation server database, okay, TFS, because the complete project creation, the heart of your complete application lifecycle management is nothing but your TFS. So you pass the development, you pass some information from dev to test through TFS. TFS is like a collaboration hub where everyone can connect and work on. Right now, the moment I save the test case, it will reside and it gets saved into your TFS database. Right? TFS internally it gets saved into your TFS database. And also, I just want to share a couple of things over here. Once it has been saved into your TFS database, as a tester, probably you can access it using a different IDEs. Probably you can have using TFS client, or probably you can go ahead and use any other Excel, or you can use any other tools to connect and to work on. If you could see this screen, my test case has been created and it generates a unique ID, right? This is a unique ID so that you can easily identify what is your test case. I'm just going to the plan. There's a test tab over here, right? This test tab where I go ahead and test this test. In this tab, you can see the test case which is in active mode, right? So I can click on. I can just kick it off. I just clicked on run. It opens up a window called Microsoft Test Runner. Right, this window is called Microsoft Test Runner. I can say create action recordings, start the test. This tool not only supports your simple desktop application, it supports even the WPF, Silverlight as well. If you have an app which supports of course it supports, and right from your ASP.NET normal ASP.NET apps to MVC SharePoint, it has a huge, it has internally coded you a builder which records the actions based on the technology that you have specified. There's a query over here. I guess okay. I'm sorry, I'll just go a little slow over here. Okay, so far what we did was very simple. We fired up Microsoft Test Manager, and we simply created a test case, say test my app, and we just run it. That's all. So far we haven't tested anything. We just run it. That's all. You can see my screen at the left pane. You can have 3 actions which we have created. So let me kick off my app and see how it actually works. Just for the sake of demo, I'll be using a default Windows calculator app which is built upon WPF, so that I can ensure that even the WPF would work over here. So I would go to the run mode and just type CALC. Right, I can open this app. Again, there's an option here. The moment the app is open, there's a couple of options like where you can go ahead and say whether this test case step has been passed or failed. I would say click on say pass. It's got passed, and there's an option called perform some actions. I would perform some actions like some mathematical collections. I would just perform, say okay, yes. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I mean, like, it's working fine. I can go ahead and say pass. It's got passed. All right. This last option is going to be close the app. I can come and close this app, and I would say this has been passed. So you might be asking, if there are like 100 test steps, do I require to make everything manually, all the steps passed? I would say it's not required. You can make at the top globally, so that if you make it to pass, it gets passed everywhere, right? Very simple. We created a test case with the 3 test steps, and we ran it, and the test case had got passed. So I'll be showing you now the real time advantages of the Microsoft Test Manager tool. It seems that our screen is gone. Probably might have to connect again. I am not sure, because I am right now in the presenter mode, and nevertheless, I'll be sharing the complete recording as well. You can also go through that if you face certain challenges while during this webcast. So what I do was, I simply recorded a test case, and I would click on to say save and close. So this test steps has got passed. So the first advantages of this Microsoft Test Manager is, assume in a scenario where thanks. Okay, assume in a scenario where, like, you after a few days or probably after a few weeks, you got a requirement to test this particular test case again. Probably you might have to see, is there any modifications with respect to the code, or probably you want to rerun and see how this particular test case would work. Basically what happens with the manual testing is, like, you have to manually open the test case and test all the steps again, right? But the advantage with the Microsoft Test Manager is, you click on to say run, and click on to say run. There's an option called start the test. Since I have already recorded, I don't require to override. I would say click on the start the test. There is a button called play here. You can actually see. You can scroll to bottom and say that play all. So I can click on to say play all. So since TFS has got SQL Server as a data repository where it saves all your all your data, right, and it saves into your database, and it just you can actually see here, right, saves in your database. So whenever you try to play back, it brings back from your database and you can play, so that you can play a number of times. So strictly speaking, you don't require to record all the test steps again. So it internally stores all your test steps into your database, and it plays back for you. All right. I'll also talk about some other advanced things as well. So I could say that this test case has got passed. I can say it has got passed, and I can click on to say save and close. Okay, right? So we got the first advantage. So you don't require to record it. You don't require to manually test all the test steps again and again. It has got a function called record once and playback many times, right? Now I'm just going to demonstrate the second advantage of this using this particular Microsoft Test Management tool. Assume a scenario where you tested this app. I would say run this. I override the existing action recording, so I can execute from the scratch. There is a scenario where you as a tester, you got some bug and you pass this bug information to the developer. I told you, right, the developer would ask many questions with respect to what is the bug status. Or okay, fine, I'll just wait. I'll be speaking now for certain time. Okay. Well, right now, let me know if you are able to see my screen, where I have checked a box called overwrite existing action recording window. Right, I mean, like, basically what happens is like, this is a quick query over here. Basically what happens is like, here, Mr. Jeff, when you start recording, there's a tool called Coded UI Builder, right? This particular tool internally records every action that is happening on your screen, right, from the top left corner to the bottom right corner. It captures every internal action. Probably if you got an app, it goes to what is the top window, or what is the child control of the app, what is the parent control of the app, and what is the application that is been built upon, and what is the technology that application is built upon, what is the operating system. It goes on a layer based approach. It captures all the set of the methods and saves into your database, so that during the time of playback, it tries to figure out, say, like whether this operating system is supported. Later then it comes to whether the technology is a technology that gets matched, and comes and search for the parent window, and comes to the child and comes to the sub child, and performs the actions. So whatever the actions happening, probably while recording, you have got a browser pop-up. It even captures that window, right? So whatever the action happening, it captures that. You can also even pass a particular exe as well, but that comes under the regression testing, where you can actually code. You don't require to manually record. You can actually code to say which application need to be launched and where exactly need to be performed the actions. Thanks. Okay, so I just want to show you the second scenario where it is really very helpful. The feature is called rich bug. So I've override this existing action recording. So you have got the same 3 test steps, right? Okay, the same 3 steps. I launched my app. Since there is a lag, so I'm just going very slow. So I have opened the app. So in this example, I'm just going to make the test case fail, or probably I raise a bug, and I pass to the development environment and see how my my developers can easily fix this particular bug, right? I would say open the app, right, and let me perform certain actions. Yes, and so I performed certain actions, it's got passed. Oh well, when closing the app, I have expected written something like that application must be closed. If you see the window, say probably as a tester, probably I don't know how to close the app. Probably the cross button has been disabled, or probably I'm not able to close it. So I searched for all the applications like close button. I'm expecting there is some close button over here. I can't find. I clicked on edit button. I can't find anything. I clicked on help button. I couldn't find any close button here to close the app. So I thought, yeah, I guess this probably is going to. I clicked on this particular maximize button, assuming that this is my close window. So I couldn't find any close. So let me raise a bug and see, how can I pass to the development team. There's an option called screenshot, right, where you can pass this as a screenshot information to your development team. Right, I can take a screenshot, saying that so that the developers can easily get what is exactly happening. The moment you release your mouse left cursor, it automatically takes a screenshots and add to your test case. I'm releasing my mouse, so the test case has been added here. Right, okay, and there's an option here called create bug. Control B is a shortcut key. I can click on this window. Right. Basically in Team Foundation server, right? Basically in the Team Foundation server, for the collaboration we have got work item tracking. Internally, logically speaking, even the test case is a work item, the bug is also a work item. So it inherits everything from the same process template. There's an XML file which inherits from the same template. So this is also a bug work item. You can actually see you got a title field over here. Let me maximize. Can you see here, right? This is going to be a bug work item. New bug window has opened up where you can see a title and assign to. Probably you can actually see here, right? If you scroll down to planning phase, you can see the priority, the severity, the try age, and things like that, right? You can. I told you earlier, you can also customize this window. Let me maximize this window. Cannot see. Okay, just hold on for a sec. Let me know if you're able to see this bug window. This window is going to be the bug work item. Hope you're able to see this window, this audit trial. This is basically a bug. I can write some information with respect to bug, like app okay. This is the excuse me. Okay, the app is not getting closed. It's a simple title that I have written and passed on to our respective development team or respective developer. I can say the severity to high, and okay, let me know if you're able to see this bug window where I'm just typing app is not getting closed. That's the title of my bug work item, the defect work item, and I've set up. I'll wait till it gets load. Okay, I'll just wait for some time. So basically, what I did was here is like so simple. Uh, I created. I mean, like in fact, I have overwritten the existing test case, and I manually filed a bug. I raised a bug. So if you screen this window, this is how a bug window actually looks. Just correcting. I'm sorry, Usha, for what's happened. I believe we might have to connect back. Okay. Uh, Kindly let me know if you're able to see, uh, you know, the window, the bug work item window. Yeah. Thanks, Susha. Uh, so this is what exactly I'm trying to demonstrate. The first advantage which I demonstrated was like you don't require to, uh, you don't require to record again and again. You can have a record once and playback many times. The second advantage is like I filed a bug, and just I want to talk about the rich bug, how a bug information would be passed on to your development team. uh, exactly, you can do that, Mr. Sharath. You can validate the controls, you can validate all the properties of the controls, like the idea of the control, probably the text. You can do that, yes. Okay. Hope you're able to see this window, the bug work item window, which I typed here as app is not getting closed. uh, uh, Still you're not able to see. Okay. Fine. I'm just moving ahead. I can type some information over here. I can highlight saying that app is not getting closed over here. uh, Say, to highlight this is going to be the issue, right? Probably this thing. uh, you know I can go and for color as well, so everyone gets aware that this is a major issue. And I would write some information over here, say what is exactly happening, or probably I can write some symptom. Is it because of that issue with the app or issue with the hardware? I can write some valid information here, uh, you know so that the developers can easily understand, because all this information would be passed on to your development environment so that the developer can quickly see. uh, if you just scroll down to bottom, uh, there is an option where you can actually see, there is at the bottom, there's a couple of data adapters like action log and the system information. Basically what is that action log is like what all the tester that he had performed. Probably he clicked on a button, or accessed a certain web page, or fetched some value from database. Overall the actions that has been performed in the testing environment would be captured into a file, so that the developer, probably the tester is working on something, instead of clicking on button 1 he clicked on button 2 and he raised a bug. So internally it captures as a button 1, so that every action that the tester performed would be captured. And also it captures the complete system information, where there's a scenarios where your app is system dependent, probably it's a browser dependent, or it's got an issue with respect to your system memory. There are apps which works only on Windows Server but not on the client operating system. So there are many challenges. So developer do not require to ask, are you sure that you executed the app on Windows Server, or are you sure that you executed onto so and so. You don't require to ask this thing. It automatically captures the complete system information. If I click on this system information window, sorry, it's system info tab, right? If you could scroll down to bottom, right, it shows you the user who has tested this app, and the name of the computer, and the whole domain name, FDQN, fully qualified domain name, and the operating system, the particular the app ran, and what is the system directory, and it provides you the much information. The physical, there are scenarios like my app works only on 8 gigabytes of RAM, not on 4, or what is the process, it works only on i7 but on i5. There are many challenges that the app depends upon. This provides you the complete system information. And also probably there are scenarios like the tester would be testing on your previous build, right? TFS has got a complete build automation. If you are basically probably at times happens is like tester would be testing with the previous binaries but not the latest binaries. So you can actually integrate saying that this is a bug has been found in so and so the output binary is so and so version output binaries, right? I can say simple, I can even link to respect to requirement as well. I can come to there's a different tabs that are available, right? I can go ahead and let me click on this link to, right? There's an option called test cases and link to. I can link to different, since it has got work item collaboration as a collaboration hub. You can link to requirements, you can link to your user stories, and you can link to your particular iteration, so that you will be so that it provides you the traceability. So so and so requirement, this number of bugs have been encountered, so and so these bugs have been contributing to so and so test cases, so that you can go ahead and link to, right? You can go ahead and link to different work item IDs. I think I had talked about the ID. So whenever a test case has been created, it would generate a unique ID, right? This is the one that I wanted to. You can go ahead and link as well. There are many other functionalities, like you can add your attachments, you can add certain screenshots, you can add much more stuff, much more. There are many things that you can go ahead and attach, right? What exactly I can do over here is, like, let me click on to say save and close, right? Save and close. At the top right bottom there is an option called save and close. I'm clicking on at the bottom right corner you can see save and close. I click on to save and close it. So you might ask me a question, so the moment a bug has been filed, how does a developer would come to know? There is a TM Foundation server has a email mechanism which it takes the help of SMTP server. A mail shall be out of the box triggered to your team, right? Even if not, what you can do is, like, you can come to, let me say this bug has got failed, this test case has got failed. I can fail it. I would say override the action recording. I'm simply closing this test case window because I do not require it. I right now myself, I assume as a developer, I'll just explain you how I go and fix this particular bug, right? Let me fire up my Visual Studio. I believe that you have you must aware of this particular tool, Visual Studio. Basically you can go the developer would be using to code, right? I have got the moment I fired up my Visual Studio, right? I guess it's still loading, but I can explain. The moment I fired up my Visual Studio, I need to connect to my Team Foundation server, because since my TFS test case would be saved in your TFS, so as a client component you would require your Visual Studio connect to your TFS to fetch the test case test case related data. So if the top if you see the right side of my screen under the Team Explorer, right, you got a home. By default it has connected to a project called demo stuff. So I need to connect to my actual project. I clicked on left click and project and my teams. I can go and connect to my project called demo CMMA. So basically what I'm trying to do is, like, I fired up my Visual Studio and connecting to my project, right? It's just a matter of couple of clicks, that's all. So I clicked on to so and so project. Let me connect. Over here I'm clicking on demo CMMI. This is my project name. Right, so you can actually see it has got connected to a project called demo CMMI, and there's an option called my work, right? Anyway, out of the box you get a mail, that's good, but since from your development environment you can go to my work, and since it will be assigned to the respective developer that you have placed upon it to. Okay, can you see at the bottom there is something called available work items section. At the bottom you can actually see there is an option called app is not getting closed. This is a work item with the icon of the warning. It is notifying that there's a bug has been filed by your tester. So how do you go and fix it? I just double click on this bug so that it gets maximized. Okay, so you can actually see this is your bug work item window, the same that the tester had said. Probably he has given the severity to 2, and these are the test steps, the steps that I can go ahead and reproduce. So open has step has got passed, perform actions has got passed, but app is not able to closed. Right? There's some issue with the app, and it has got even the attachment. Can you see that it has got attachment? The same screenshot that we have taken at the testing environment. Excuse me. Okay, this the same, you can actually see here, right? This is a screenshot. The interesting feature of this Microsoft Test Manager tool is, if you scroll down to bottom, there is something called action log, right? At the left bottom of your screen, you can get to see a couple of hyperlinks. The first one is the action log, the second one is the system information. In fact, I had explained what is the system information of the tester it captured. So I click on the action log. Okay, it's a simple HTML file. It's getting open in my browser. It's a simple file, HTML file. So what exactly this does is, it captures every action, every event that is happened at your at the testing environment. If you see, there's an option called open app. There's a first test step, right? Under the open app, these are the actions that I had performed, right? Press shortcut keys. I clicked on Windows R symbol. I typed so and so thing on a respective combo box and typed the text box and open the app, right? And if you scroll down to bottom, there are certain actions. I clicked on so and so button. What all the actions that has been performed gets captured. This is my tester step. Under this test step, what all the actions that I performed. See, when closing the app, I'm not able to close the app, right? So I clicked on a button called calculator. I clicked on the title bar. I clicked on view button, edit, so and so label. I clicked on. So I clicked on running history. Finally, I clicked on the restore window to get maximized or not. But I have not clicked on the close button. Can you see it? So that I can ensure to my tester saying that, hey, click on so and so close button. I can probably share him the screenshot to click on what needs to be clicked, right? So that I can so the tester do not require to send me much information. I clicked on so and so button, it didn't work. It is running on so and so operating system. So it not only provides a bug information, but also the rich bug, a huge information where a developer can have a quickly glance into the bug to fix this thing, right? This is one of the advantage of using this Microsoft Test Manager tool. You might ask me, does it captures only a action log and a system information? How about remaining? Oh, I want to tell you something interesting news for you. It not only captures this thing. There is a huge data, huge adapters that would be captured from the tester. All you need to do is you need to enable the adapter, right? Probably I can open what all the list of adapters that I can enable at the testing environment so that you can fetch them. Okay. I'm triggering my Visual my Microsoft Test Manager tool, right? after I have this Microsoft Test Manager tool, I can go to the properties of my plan. It should be done at a plan. I told you the hierarchy, right? Plan, suite, and the test case. You should go to the plan properties where you need to create a new file. I clicked on something called plan tab here, and there's a properties, right? I clicked on something called properties. Okay, if you could see, you must have remembered this one. This is a plan that we created, right? That we created initially, and if you scroll down to the bottom, there's something called manual runs. Manual runs. In this manual runs, by default, it chooses action log and the system information. Right? I can scroll. I can click on this drop down. There's an option here called, you can use a local test run, which is a default name. I can create a new test settings file. Right? I can tell saying that, okay, from this plan or from the next plan, I want following information need to be captured by my Microsoft Test Manager tool. Whenever the tester executes, I can change my test settings file. Let me create a simple test settings file, and I can explain it to you how this provides you the richer bug information. I click on something called new, so I'm creating a new test settings file. I clicked on new. It pops up. It has opened up a small window with the 4 options here. So what is the name that you want to give to this diagnostic adapter? I would say so I specified simple full diagnostic data is the name of my file. I click on say next. Simple, I've given a name. I do not worry about the roles. All I need to do is I want to move to data and diagnostic tab, so I click on twice next button. So okay, okay. Oh, right now I'm under data and diagnostic tab, where I can see the action log. Right, out of the box, it captures 2 information. You can see the first checkbox and the last checkbox. It captures the action log. Say there is a scenarios where the app running on a different server, where you want to capture the information from that server. Right, at the time you can have a remote missions to be configured. There's much more things, but here my app is hosted on the same environment where the tester is, so I would select this option, action log and the system information. I can go ahead and use this event log. Right, it provides you .event VWR. It provides you the event log of the file, so that if there is any bug occurred, so that the developer can actually navigate through the log information of your Windows operating system. I can even specify the IntelliTrace data. IntelliTrace is like, it captures the exception data of your app. If you have exception data, the developer can easily go and looks if there is any defect occurred with respect to the code. Right, and very interesting thing is like the screen and voice recorder. It in fact records your screen. It records your screen to a video file .mp4 file. So if I just configure this thing, it records everything. So if a tester, right from the tester started your test case to the end of the test case, it records a complete video. The video will be passed on to your development team, not the simple screenshot, not the simple actions, the complete video. The video will be compressed mode, so you don't require to worry about the spacing constraint and all. It will be fully encrypted, and so to have a better performance, it is completely encrypted and compressed as well. And you can actually see where I can specify. You can also have a voice setup. Probably a tester can talk to the developer. Can you say it? You can enable the voice recording. You can record this test case. You can include based on your frames per second the quality of your test case. right? This is a way that I can set up the diagnostic adapters. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm just I'm not saving this. Okay. So this is a way that you can have your test settings file. I can say finish, and hereafter I can use this test settings file. I simply selected, I can go ahead back to my test settings, and I can see to which testing settings file I can go ahead and save it. Alright, I can, so for this plan I can use this one. Based on my requirement, I can have a number of test settings files. Right. Okay, this is the second advantage of using this Microsoft Test Manager tool. Okay, right, this is the second advantage. Okay, so not only the normal information, but also it captures the full diagnostic data to your development team, so that they can easily go and fix this thing. And this was the second thing. So let me come back and select my local test run. So just save it. And I just want to explain one of the advantages of using this tool. I'm just one sec. Nothing. I'm just verifying my recording process, is it properly working or not. Okay. Okay. So right now I just want to explain a scenario where let me open an app, explain you how this Microsoft Test Manager can help in a real-time scenario. I have got an MVC app here. I am minimizing all my windows. I fired up my IE Explorer. Let me know if you are able to see my IE. I'm just navigating through a site called www.tailspintoys.com, which is hosted into my local production environment. I cannot access over. I can simply access over my local network, but I cannot access this one via web. But you can actually see here, this is my website. Okay, it's simple, a toys app. Okay, where I can click on to say the first link, and I just navigated to a few links. Finally, when there's something called add to cart has come up, right? There's some data where a user needs to pass it on over here. You can actually see this window where the app requires to pass the first name to the pin code. So I want to test this app where manually I want to test this app where I want to pass almost like a few input parameters. Say for example 30 to 40 rows of data I need to pass. So normally what happens is, like in a scenario where you require to sit manual and you need to pass the data in the manual testing scenario. But you have got a tool over here where it automates your complete, the complete, testing. So you do not require to sit and pass on all these values, right? So what exactly I'm trying to do is, like, I close my app. I have got a test case, so I bind multiple input parameters to my test case, and I see how an automated test case execution can be leveraged over here. Hope you got it. A simple site where I require to pass multiple input parameters. Right. How do I parameterize using this tool? So I'm just closing the app, and let me open my Microsoft Test Manager. You can tell me if I'm too fast. Right now what I did was I'm just doing nothing. I just fired up my Microsoft Test Manager. I believe you must have got now how to create a test case. Simple. I opened up my Microsoft Test Manager console here, and okay, so I created something called new test case. So I need to pass the title, all the test steps, and the parameter values. So I have already created a test case. Since I don't want to type wasting my time here, so I copy the test case from my notepad and I paste it here. Or if you have an Excel, you can directly simply import with a single click as well. So I enter the title of the test case. So the test case title is confirm that receipt number appears after successful order. Some sample test case. We have got some test steps available. I copy it, and I just paste here. Okay, you can actually see here, navigate through so and so URL, click so and so link, click so and so this thing, blah blah blah. It has shown up. If you see this test step number 6, okay, if you see here, this has got input fields like first name to the postal code with a symbol called @. So the moment you try to append @ symbol on any of the particular text, which means that you are trying to say that it is a parameter. The moment you type @ first name, it has got a parameter. It enables you to pass the data to these fields in the same @. So if you want a parameter, some value, all you need to do is like @ symbol. Or you can also say insert a parameter and pass the parameter name. That's whatever. Right? You can do this one. So right from first to the starting, I have already test data available. So what I do is like I copy that. The data in my notepad is like I have given a tab space onto every column so that it can identify as this column. If you could screen my window here, if I can screen here, so I want to test this app with 3 input parameters. The first name is Michael, second name is Chris, and the last user is Robin. I want to test this app with the different fields. Right, so I've got a test case title and some test steps. Finally, the input parameters to test this test case. So I can click on to say save it. So it has got saved. So just the moment you save it, it just come up the test case ID, which means it got saved into your database, and you can do that. Okay, I'm just closing this window, so you can actually see here the test case has been created. The ID is 318. Let me navigate to the tester tab. Okay, let me navigate to the test tab. So now I got how to execute the test case. Simple. Go to plan tab and plan your test case. Come to test tab and execute the test case. It's as simple as that. So what I do is like I select my test case and I will click on to say run. Simple. It opens up a window with all the test steps. All I need to do is like I open and say make pass or fail. So what I do is like I create an action recording, start the test. So all I need is all I did was simple. I created a test case, came to the test tab and started running. I've got all my test steps available here, like a calculator example I've got over here. So first of all I need to navigate through iExplorer. So let me go to run mode and type iExplorer, and I could have directly typed the tailspin toys as well, but I would like to do like this. I would like to say dot. I can also do this way. I can go and type, or there's a favorite icon that I've got. I can just click onto this one. Right. So what is right now this part? If you could see at the bottom left of my screen, there is an option called 6 actions were captured. Right. So every action that is getting happen over here, it records inside along with the control. Probably if I click on model airplane, it isn't record as a simple button. It goes internally. It says that what is the ID of the control, what is it does much more. What is the tag name, what is the tag instance, what is the properties of the control, and what is the technology that is being built upon. So it really saves all the properties of the control as well. So I would say this got passed, and clicked on model airplanes. So I'll do this little fast. All I need to show is like how to parameterization would work. So I click on to say it got passed, and Northwind Trader, add to cart, just simple clicks. I click on to say checkout. It has been checked out. If you could see this window, right? Can you see here, right? These are all your cached values. The text box field has already been cached. So I'm sorry. Yep. If you could see this thing, there is already the values had come up here. Right? The first name is Michael. All the values has been binded. It binds with the row of the data that you had passed over here. Right. So if I want to bind this first value to your first name, all you need to do is like just select this value and type Control V. In fact, it binds the first column with this particular text box. This particular thing with Control V. Can you see right the moment I reach the second field, it has the cursor has moved to my next field. The parameter has gone to the next one, and I can delete the previous this thing, and I type Control V. So which means at the moment it is by default copied over here. So it's bound with the control, I can just simply paste it. I don't require to manually sit and type as well. So I cancel this one and type say Control V, this address, and now here there's something called city. There's something called city, right? And just binding to my city field, right? I'm just selecting the field called USA, Washington, and I deleted my postal code. We're going to say postal code. So I can say that all the files have been bounded. I can make this to pass. So I can go ahead and click on to say review order. Oh, well, necessarily not required, because I know that all this step would pass, so I manually make this to pass. So I just want to talk about. So I am saying finally I close the browser, and I would say make it to pass. So what exactly it's happened is like, so right now I have tested with the iteration 1, right? I've tested with the iteration 1. So now I want to test the same app with the iteration 2, which is nothing but the second row of data. How do I do that? Since I have already recorded all these test steps, I don't require to record everything again opening the site and navigating through the steps and finally passing the second row. I do not require. I can click on to say end iteration and move to the next. Over here since the recording has already been taken care by your Microsoft Test Manager, you don't require to override, but I would say start the test, and I click on to say play and all. An option called play and play all. Nothing. I have manually tested with the row 1, right? I manually tested with row 1 data, and from there I'm trying to automate the complete scenarios. If you observe very because the playback is 2x times faster than actual recording, so it is going to be pretty fast. Okay, you can even slow down. You can generate a code out of this one, and you can simply say you can change the playback settings. That's not going to be a problem. I have not do that, so let me say replay this action. Right, I would just say this thing, and like so it's actually playing back for me. It closes this back, so I do not require to retest everything. All I can come is like I can make this, since it has got passed, I can make it to pass, and I can go to the next iteration, and you can move back for them many times. So the advantage of using this particular tool is like you do not require to test manually with all the set of recorded parameters, right? You can record once, and it gets automated to your all the respective input data. One of the advantage of this is like you can even generate a code out of the complete scenario and move to, if provided you require to know very basic knowledge of C# programming, you can move to your Visual Studio, and you can change the parameters, you can validate your controls, and you can add certain assertions, logics, and much more you could do with this particular tool. So far, if you have any queries, any things that you want to clarify, you can feel free to post. I'll be able to answer this, answer all your queries. Hope I'm audible, and my screen is continuously being shared. Yes. And also there are few more topics which need to be covered over here. Yes, the test reporting I'll be covering tomorrow, and there are some other functionalities, how you can clone these existing plans and suits and all, where majorly we'll be seeing it the tomorrow's session webcast. But today we will be taking up the queries, and we can summarize the existing topics that we have learned so far. Any queries you can feel free to ask, and Yes. Sure. Thank you so much for attending this webcast. I believe that it's you got benefited out of that thing, and we can catch up tomorrow at the same time, and we'll be covering the remaining functionalities. Thank you everyone. Thanks for your valuable time the corporation provided. Thank you so much.